Hi folks, the Scottish Farmer's been put together again for this week. It's going to be a bumper 68-page issue. We're currently planning it for this week. So Gordon, what do you think is the top story for you this week?
Top story for me, lambing season's approaching, and despite repeated warnings to dog owners, we're hearing again of cases of dogs getting let loose among sheep, technically called sheep worrying, but as we know it's actually violent, often fatal attacks on defenceless animals. There's now new Scottish legislation on sheep being attacked by dogs, with much higher fines, even potentially prison sentences. So we'll look at this week's cases and we'll see if the police and the Procurator Fiscal is going to use this legislation to properly bring the full weight of the law against these people who've let their dogs loose. So that's the biggie for me this week. Though to be fair, in the world there are other things happening, and John will maybe tell you about that.
Thanks, Gordon. Yeah, so this week we've been speaking to some inspiring farmers who are working in the most difficult conditions over in Ukraine. We've got a sheep farmer who's only got enough feed for the next month and then he starts lambing. We've got another farmer who's having to give away all his produce to the army. And finally, when a lot of farmers in Scotland are thinking about getting towards sowing, we found a horrendous situation in Ukraine where a cereal grower is unable to get onto his land for fear of landmines.
And bringing it back to Scotland, the practical implications of Russia being shut off to the world and Ukraine being shut off to the world means fertiliser's not getting here, and there's going to be a shortage of grain, which is something else we'll be looking at this week. Again, John's.
Yep, certainly. A bit closer to home, we've got, if you cut your fertiliser rates, how much is your yield rate going to hit correspondingly? And we're also speaking to experts across the international scene to find out, will supplies be ready for your farm this autumn?
So there you have it, folk. 68 pages of really good stuff that will help your businesses run and also keep you up to date what's happening on the other side of the world in terms of the war.